friend, welcome to Tuesday Tours. I'm Rochelle Lecavalier. Today we are headed up to check out Mizner Grand. I love them here, they're so nice.
Hello, friend. With me.
Welcome to Tuesday Tours. So we are on the grounds of the Boca Raton Resort and Hotel. Fabulous resort property. That was number one of 2 security gates for Mizner Grand. As we make our way down the pathway here, we'll see on the left is Mizner Court. There are 3 buildings, Mizner Court, Mizner Tower, and then the pinnacle, newest, largest, and most luxurious being Mizner Grand. That's where we're headed today. And here we are to the marquee and the entrance of Mizner Grand. You see we have our own little fountain. It's a very private entrance before we get to the second security gate. Over here we have a back entrance to the Boca Raton Resort. If you happen to be a member, you can enter there. And all of the concrete pavers. Thank you. So Mizner Grand is actually a series of towers, and they break it into groupings of North Tower and South Tower. I'll tell you more about that later. We can get a little bit of a perspective shot. The North Tower and the South Tower. For now, I am going to turn around here and head over to my friends at the valet. Welcome back to 306 North. It's great to see you. I'm so excited. Friends, get in here. You have to see the magic that Ms. Margaret Shaffer did. I cannot believe what you accomplished this time.
Thank you.
And you brought my friends. Hi, guys. Rochelle Lecavalier here. I'm here with Margaret Shaffer, creative director and founder of REH Interiors. Margaret and I have been working together for years, and what you accomplished is amazing.
Thank you.
Tell our friends what exactly you did.
We specialize in luxury home merchandising, which is not quite staging. It really takes the soul of luxury properties and reimagines them so that they can really connect with luxury buyers.
So far beyond what we used to do back in the day, which is a little bit like lipstick on a pig, if we're honest, you know, in terms of staging and put some generic stuff in there. This is really about merchandising a luxury property so that it will sell. We sell a lot of luxury properties in this market that they're far from luxurious, if you get my meaning. This is a beautiful multi-million-dollar condo that wasn't really performing, and you and I have worked together on so many homes. Literally, things have been on the market for years. We re-merchandise, represent it, and boom, it sells. It's amazing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Speaking of a beautiful thing, tell me about this formal sitting room. How did you turn the cave into this? Oh my gosh, we have to show you guys. Come on. So before you came along, this room was a complete dungeon cave. Every negative word about dark and cluttered you can think of.
Yeah, absolutely. There was so much visual clutter. This room was just, it felt so neglected, like an oversized storage closet.
Totally. I mean, over here there was that massive, ugly desk, and it had all those papers and all the rubbish in here. And it's it's easy to get cluttered up, right? You're in a place a long time. But not only removing the rubbish and things, but you really created a situation here where we always like to say buyers need to imagine themselves, you know, and how you're going to use the room.
Well, you know, this is a really key area. Not only is it a first impressions area, but, you know, it's an auxiliary seating area. It's a den. It's a family room. It's apart from the formal spaces. So this is really a space that whoever is buying the unit is going to use. And so we needed to show it in a way that was multifunctional and also visually appealing for somebody to come in and say, oh, I could spend time in here. It has some challenges. There's some really dark built-ins that we had to lighten up. There's no natural light in
It's true, not a single window.
So that's where
Speaking
the
of
dungeon
which,
came from.
Tell me, you did some kind of voodoo magic in here. How did you get it to light up so bright?
Well, we added lighting wherever we could. So in addition to adding lots of table lamps and floor lamps, we bumped up the wattage in
the primary fixture.
Exactly. And visually lightened it up. So I believe there was a wrought iron fixture there before, which further led to this medieval dungeon feel.
Well, and the paint is different. So you've used really high watt bulbs in a fixture that has it throws off a lot of light, and then it's bouncing off of the newly painted white walls.
Absolutely. And it's visually a light fixture too. It's airy, you can see through it, there's glass, there's a lot of subconscious elements that we worked into the space to help this feeling of lightness come through.
Wow. Well, the room with the most natural light, it also needed some help. Interestingly, you know, people say natural light cures all, but like, let's go look at this formal living room. The formal living room and this view, Margaret, I mean, it's so amazing, but how this room was set up initially,
it was less than spectacular. You know, we had an arrangement that was not at all conducive to the space. Underscaled furniture, leggy furniture. It felt very light and airy, and this is a huge room.
This is a giant room. I mean, it's one of the big selling points. So if the room isn't properly anchored, right, then those little pieces, they get lost. And then it's like, how do I use this room?
Right, you just don't have anything to really connect to. So the way that we used furnishings in this space was to create lots of different activity areas. We have a game table, we have large scale seating so that you could fit a large group of people. We tied together some of the heavier elements in the space. We took the woods, we incorporated them into the furnishings, but we provided a buffer with lots of light, airy, neutral textiles to help give this feeling of lightness, of airiness, of being on the water, of being right here in the heart of Boca.
It's all important. Well, and one of the things you reference is that you created this light buffer because we do have a very dark stained floor.
Yes.
So when you get into the espresso finishes, you know, it's a great expense for a seller to undergo to really guess at what a potential buyer wants. So if you can, as much as possible, keep what the seller already has, something like paint is very inexpensive, and then design your way around it so that it appears to have been part of the plan from the beginning, that's the whole ball game.
Exactly, and that's what we bring with our staged design package is that's really the least expensive thing for the seller to do to completely change the look of a unit. I mean, if you hired an interior designer to change the floors, change the countertops, change the cabinetry, which of course you could do, and it.
But I always tell people not to do that. I mean, sellers ask me all the time, Rochelle, should I change the kitchen? Should I upgrade the bath? Here's the issue. You like blue, they would have preferred green. Like you're just not necessarily gonna get it right. And then the amount of expense associated, I don't like to recommend to any of my sellers anything that I don't absolutely know, cross my heart, that they're gonna get ahead in the sale on. But you've done something genius here because you took what was already here. Like this is a space that the ultimate buyers came in and said, this is perfect for entertaining. But I have to tell you, the way the space looked before, nobody was going to say that. Right? It was going to be like the dining is really open. The way that you compose that whole section, it's fantastic. I mean, it opens up to the kitchen. We have to take our friends through the whole place. We can't. I could sit and talk all day, but like to actually show our friends the way that this dining room was done, it's elegant. But if you look at the pieces, it's not really complicated, right? I mean, it's not like you went crazy in here. And then you have another space with sort of limited natural light that you blew it up. So pretty.
Thank you. You know, we did want to bring in that reflectivity in the fixtures. We did change the fixtures.
Yes.
That's a very inexpensive way to get a lot of bang for the buck.
It looks completely fresh and current. The other thing is this table is really large, and the person who ended up buying was thinking of all, like just envisioning the whole family coming for the holiday dinners. And I mean, you could even have something larger in this space.
Absolutely.
And it's tough to read that when the table in the middle is this minuscule item, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, showing scale is very important, especially for photos. Yes, while you're in the space to really get the feel, but you know how often buyers start online. The photos, you can't get them in the door.
All the time. We have to present things like really, really well. The idea, I always tell people, you want them to fall in love with the space before they ever give us a call to come look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of falling in love with a space, can we talk about you maxing out this view in the kitchen? So it's one of those areas like we talked about, Margaret, where you don't want to go crazy improving a space. I mean, in this case, the buyer's going to redo the kitchen.
Of course.
So we kept the original appliances, you didn't refinish anything, but you added a few touches that will have a buyer imagine themselves in the space. You did the light fixtures in here, didn't you?
We did do the
That's
light
right.
fixtures. Yes, we did.
There
indeed.
was this horrendous, I should say it. It was really bad though.
It was,
the one with the little flowers on it.
Distracting.
Okay, it was a distracting fixture. That's really well said. But here's my favorite part of this entire residence is this breakfast area. It's really large enough to have a proper meal in, but I don't know if I've ever seen a better view.
With the staging, we create a destination.
Yes.
So once that buyer sees something in here, it piques their interest. They come in, and then all of a sudden it connects them to a selling point, which is the view.
Of course. And then key, they're saying, wow, I can imagine myself sitting here. That is the total key right there, my friends. So we have to check a look at the room where the magic happens. Is that an off-color joke? I mean, they used to say it all the time on MTV Cribs.
I don't think so. I mean, the magic can happen in a lot of places.
That's true. Everybody knows where the magic happens with me, right? In my office. That's right, don't forget it. So on every buyer's list, for pretty much every room, but particularly the master suite, 3 things: light, bright, airy. Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Good work.
Thank you very much. We really wanted to create 3 distinct areas within the master. We want to show as much function as possible while creating harmony in tone, in texture. So we have our seating area here overlooking the gorgeous view. We
Such
have
a
nice
view.
little desk here.
By the way, everyone asks for this. Even if there's a separate office in a house, even in our larger properties, people want a sitting little desk area in the master suite.
Yes.
This is a key area. There happens to be a small niche, but I think most buyers wouldn't have recognized it for this potential without having merchandised it this way.
Absolutely. You know, you could really show a lot of function by putting the specific furniture in
Of
the
course,
space.
of course. I mean, no one's not going to come in here and love this master suite.
Thank you.
Wow. By the way, we have balcony. We get that amazing view again. We should go talk about what you did out here, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely.
I love plantation shutters. They just pop right open. They're like doors. They're so cool. So another area, Margaret, that I find a lot of people just completely forget about when merchandising a luxury property, or rather not merchandising one, is the outdoor spaces. I mean, in Florida, the outside in, inside, I mean, particularly with this view.
I know.
What a sin to have this just be empty.
How could you forget about this? And you know, when we come to consult on luxury properties, the outside space is one of the key areas that we always
Clearly.
recommend. It's a huge mistake not to pay attention to this area. Like I said, it turns something that might have been overlooked into the selling point. If
Exactly.
there's nothing out here to draw people out here,
Then it's just nothing burger.
Exactly.
Versus this is yet another selling feature. And we're adjacent to the kitchen and the butler pantry. So you could absolutely have drinks out here, have a meal.
Easily.
And this sofa and ottoman and chairs setup, it shows there's plenty of space to do all of those things, which interestingly, if you don't merchandise it this way, a lot of buyers will say, oh, it's kind of small, I can't really do anything with it.
Absolutely.
But this is a very deep balcony.
Even if they wouldn't set it up particularly this way, you at least have a concept of scale.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's so important. Wow. What are you doing for the rest of the day? Can we just sit here and look at this view?
I think I'd like to do just that.
I'm into
Please.
it. Well,
Please
I'm
and
sure
thank
we
you.
both have other things we have to get to. So I really appreciate you guys coming along for this Tuesday Tours. I'm here again with Margaret Shaffer, creative director and founder of REH Interiors. And as always, your pal Rochelle Lecavalier, bringing you the very best of Boca Raton luxury real estate. Thanks again.
Thanks, Rochelle.
My pleasure. Bye. Yeah.
We kept it on
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, you ugly. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you. Okay, seriously now, it's time. One of my favorite things I have to tell you when I come into a master suite with a buyer is, this is like full disclosure, okay, Rochelle Psychology coming out. Do you know Metallica?
No.
Okay, so there's this song and it's like, Master, Master, Master. It's called Master of Puppets. Okay, Master of Puppets, Metallica. Yes, I am one of those people. Master, Master. It's so great. Come on.
It was very green.
Wasn't it? It's like a release.
Good.
What up,
Ready?
gangsta?
Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Right over here, there's a button that says subscribe. Pretty self-explanatory. Hit that button, subscribe, and just next door there's a bell. Click that as well, and you will be notified each and every time I upload a new video. We have the series Tuesday Tours, we have Boca 360, and all sorts of market reports and other useful information for you about the Boca Raton luxury real estate market. If you have a few minutes, I hope you'll stick around and check out a couple more of my videos. After all, I made them for you. Right here, it's a Tuesday Tours episode, and just here, a market report. I'm Rochelle Lecavalier, bringing you the very best of Boca Raton luxury real estate. Hope to see you soon.